Well, they don't like the smell of me. Another fine morning in the desert. Good morning, Rod here. Thanks for joining me. It's 6:15 in the morning. I left Riyadh about 4:15. I'm roughly 130 kilometers west of Riyadh. I had to think about that one because to get here you go south, then you go west, then you go north. But from my home it's west. I'm just outside of Barrah, and see the cars parked over there. I've driven there about 4K off a paved road, and I parked. And I'm gonna do possibly a 20 to 25K hike. I'll just see how I feel. It's nice and cool. It's 25 degrees. After 45 and 50 degrees, it almost feels cold. I love this area here. This is where I did pretty well all my hiking and camping last year. The Tuwaiq escarpment, which runs roughly 800 kilometers across Saudi Arabia, pretty well west-east, east-west, is from here. The closest point is maybe 7 kilometers away. You may be able to see the Tuwaiq escarpment way over there. I'll have to find out what this sign says. It's like a bit of a landmark. As soon as I get here, I know it's like a kilometer to my car. Shotgun shell. Kaiser 12. Well, I'm guessing with the 12 it's a 12 gauge, but there's a lot of dove-like, pigeon-like birds around here. Mostly where there's more trees and stuff like that. Maybe once in a while when I'm out, I hear gunshots. Sadhu Stam that day, there was a guy hunting. I've never actually heard any shots in this area, although I found 3 or 4 shotgun shells. It's a bit of a natural choke point here. You've got your ridge on your right, and you've got your ridge on the left with the wadi following it. And it kind of funnels you in here. Where you can see the trees and the bushes. That's the wadi, dry riverbed, which floods during the rains. Well, you can see a slightly better view of the escarpment way in the background, the Tuwaiq escarpment. It's probably 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers from here. Looks like a dirt road, but it isn't. It's a dry riverbed. $360. Quite a few camel prints here. If you check out that one, you can see a sort of roundish flat area, and then at the back there's two little sort of holes, and the clove, I guess you'd call that part of it, faces the back of the camel, so the camel was moving in that direction. If you ever wonder how you can tell which way a camel is walking. So my guess is these camels were walking home, going somewhere for the night. Around where I parked my car, maybe a kilometer just past it, there's a camel pen. It wasn't there last year. These goat pens and camel pens that you see, they're very mobile. I think what they do is they find a nice spot where there's enough feed for whatever it is, goats, camels, and they stay there for a while until it's all relatively fed out, then they'll just move somewhere else. Here's my shadow. Well, we're getting closer. That sign has been sandblasted, so there's nothing on either side of it. This is another landmark. I'm roughly 3.5 km from the car, I'd say. I'm about to leave this level and move up to the next one. First of all, here's the escarpment again, way in the background. So we're going up there. This part of the road gets pretty washed out during the rains. Nice little drop off there you got to be careful of. You really need a four-wheel drive here. It gets so muddy and slippery here that people have put down carpets. So somebody must have gotten stuck here at some point. Well, we're just getting to the next level. There's a car off in the distance way over there. Just came from there. Okay, we're at the next level. And let's see, we're at 760 meters above sea level. The car is at 731, so we've gone up 29 meters. 4.3 K from the car. And it's 31 degrees, so it's starting to warm up a little bit. Don't get the best view with the sun facing us, but the edge of the world is right about there. My finger's shaking. I like this spot. Little lakes or ponds will form here after the rains. You can see all the animal prints in the dried up mud over here from when it was a little pond. So they would come here to get their water, the camels and the maybe goats. Got your acacia tree. The escarpment here, it's kind of like a U. There's the edge of the world. That little U in the escarpment. The Tuwaiq escarpment runs almost 800 kilometers across Saudi Arabia. And at places, apparently it's 600 meters high. Now here, it's probably no more than 150, 200 meters. Now, of course, all this used to be underwater, used to be a sea. So I would think that at some point the escarpment was a shoreline. Now, we're going northeast. Now that direction, roughly east, southeast, is Riyadh. But to get here, I had to go down Mecca Road, where a week or so ago I did a little hike at the bottom of the escarpment. That's Mecca Road. And then you hang a right onto the highway that goes to Derma. And then you turn off to Al-Barrah. So really you go this way, and then back a little bit. So you sort of do a U to get here because you can't go directly because the ridge, the escarpment. Of course, you can come from the top of the escarpment the other way. I came that way, but you can go down that way, so you go north of Riyadh. Sort of towards Sedus. But you don't turn off the highway to Sedus, you just keep going. And then you'll turn here, but that way to get here is actually significantly longer. It's probably another 60, 70 kilometers. Now once last year I was camping here and I got caught in a really bad rainstorm. So in the middle of the night I had to pack up and head off across this desert back to the car. Anyway, this area was all muck and stuff, but it was okay. I was comfortable. I had a rain suit and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it was torrential rains and all the wadis were full up with water. And I tried to take my normal route back that way to Riyadh through Derma. And just on this side of Derma, the highway was flooded with probably 4 feet of water, over a meter of water. And the only thing that we're really able to get through were big four-wheel drives on the big trucks. Everybody else was either getting stuck in the water. I didn't even try it. So I just had to pull a U-turn and I had to go back to Riyadh the other way. It was very scenic, but it was quite a bit longer. Don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, when I came onto this level, I heard this sound. It's kind of eerie. I'm trying to figure, what is it? What is it? And once I saw that shack, I realized it's the bleating of goats. Toasty out here. Not a breath of wind. Got another maybe 2K to go. Well, I just ran into my first herd of camels, just over here. So far I can see about 10 of them. Not sure where the herder is. I think I've met this herd of camels before. I'm getting close to my turnaround point. I camped in this wadi 3 times, and one of the times I was here, it was about 7:30 at night, pitch dark, no moon. I was sitting around the fire reading my e-book, and I suddenly hear these noises all around me, and I feel I'm surrounded by something. It scared the crap out of me for a while. Turn on the flashlight. There's a herd of camels moving through, just grazing on the trees, and most of them being dark brown. You couldn't see them anyway. It's amazing how silent camels can be. You know, they've got the big hoofed feet, and unless they're grunting, they make these inner stomach noises. Unless they're doing that, you don't really hear too much of them. Well, they don't like the smell of me. These trees have been worked over by the camels. This is the spot where I've camped 3 times. There's my fire pit. Well, 2 times I was camped down in the wadi. 1 time I got flooded out. Next time I came back, I camped up, just up here. In fact, that's my fire pit right there. Lots of wood to start a fire. I mean, nothing really big, but it's good enough to barbecue on, to get some coals going. Oh, it's nice in the shade. Well, 11.4K from the car, 36 degrees, 799 meters. And we're at a low spot here, a bit higher. It would be like 804, 805. So I'm almost at my turnaround point. I'm just going to go up the wadi just to see if there's some sort of trail or way up to the top of the escarpment. This is kind of a low point here to get to the top of the escarpment. It's not that high up. One day when I came here to camp, it was close to sunset. I dumped my pack here and I heard some noises over there, so I just walked, and on top of the escarpment were a couple guys in a pickup truck. But I just can't quite, I didn't get too close. And I just couldn't tell one way or the other if there was a way up there, but it didn't look like they were particularly high or too high up. There's a hawk or a falcon. I think that was a hawk. Oh, it's nice to sit down for a bit. It's 9 o'clock. Need a little bit of wind, to tell the truth, just to sort of cool things off a little bit. Yeah, while I'm here, I may as well have something to eat. Nuts and prunes. There's a tree just over there that's been cut with a saw. Probably dead pieces that they wanted for firewood. I've got prunes, cashew nuts, Brazil nuts, walnuts, I see one of the camels way over there, so it looks like they're working their way around. This is where I was when it was pitch dark, when I was surrounded by the herd of camels, and they were going that way. And I was new to this area. I think it's the first time I was here, and I figured, well, if it's after dark and they're going that way, they must be heading home. Because usually camels, at nighttime, they head back to their pen or something like that. So I said, tomorrow morning when I get up, I'll go look there. I never did, but the next time I came here, I walked over there just to see if there was a good campsite, which there wasn't, and it just ends at the escarpment. At least I think it does. $360. Where I saw the truck was straight ahead on that flat part. Right there. And from here I realize that you cannot get up there from here. I mean, you take a look at the escarpment, and for near the bottom you can sort of get started, I suppose, but then once you get near the top it goes like straight up. I think it's kind of a lost cause out here, trying to get up there. Okay, it's time to go home. Meaning back to the car. That away. 12K. Wherever you see trees and a line of trees, it means that there's a wadi. So if you look over there in the distance, there's a bunch of trees and they sort of follow along a wadi. And then on this side, the trees are sparser on this side, but it's still in a wadi. It goes all the way along, all the way over there. And if you follow this wadi all the way back, it intersects close to where I want to change levels. So when I first came out here, I didn't know my way around. And so what I did was I followed the wadi out and I followed it back. Now I know exactly where I'm going. There's 2 trees about 5K that way. And I want to go to the left of the left tree. At nighttime, in that direction, a little to the right of the path I want to take, you can see the red flash of some sort of tower. Microwave tower, telephone tower, something like that. So it's always good to know. Yeah, when I first started coming out here, I was really paranoid about getting lost and all sorts of things. And after a couple trips, I got my, I'm not quite sure what you call it, my direction sense back. I mean, ever since I was a kid, when I was growing up, I spent a lot of time in the outdoors and the bush. And even though I always carried a compass, back then you didn't have GPSs. I didn't have to use it very often. You just kind of get a sense of where you're going. It's like riding a bicycle. It comes back to you. You wonder why I'm walking backwards. Because holding the camera with my left hand is getting a bit sore. With the sun over there, when I move the camera on this side, see, I seem pretty dark. So I'm trying to keep the camera, the back of the camera facing the sun. You probably noticed I got shorts on now. That's one thing I like about these Columbia trousers. You can turn them into shorts. So they're great travel pants because they're pants and they're shorts. Or if you're from Britain, trousers. Don't want to say pants to a British person. Oh, you're wearing your underwear. A lot of hiking is just a mindless activity. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, forever and ever and ever. I mean, right now I'm in no man's land. It's a big wadi over there. And there's a smaller wadi over here. I'm heading over there, so I'm sort of right in the middle of things. Well, not in the middle of things, the middle of nothings. My friend, the sign means I'm close to my car. Less than a kilometer to go. It's 43 degrees. My tripod being made of metal, aluminum or whatever it's made of. My hands are sweating touching it. It's noticeably hot to the touch. It's not so hot that you can hardly touch it, but it's getting pretty close to that. 11:57. Let's send a message to my girlfriend and myself saying I'm okay. I'm back at the car. Nice to have something cold. Usually I freeze it overnight. This time I didn't. And I put it in with an ice pack in the cooler. It's cool, but it's not cold. So next time freeze it. Okay, I've done 22.3 kilometers. It's 44 degrees right now. My moving average was 4.9 k an hour. That's pretty good. My moving time was 4.5 hours. My stop time was 1 hour 15 minutes. So altogether I was going almost 5 hours. And my overall average, including stop time, is 3.8 kilometers an hour. I am pooped. Let's save this track. So I'll be able to look at it after. Turn it off. So from here it's going to take me an hour and a half to get home. I almost didn't come today. I was going to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's National Day, which is also a holiday, and then the next day I'd be work after tomorrow. But I'd rather do the distance now, and then I'll be able to relax all day tomorrow. Oh, I'm beat. Yeah, it's still a bit early for camping. It's still a little bit too hot. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, see you later.